to something called the aging toaster, which is these two fingers, and it goes working on your head, so you can kind of use it for your head there. And this works on all your points of view about aging. Now we're going to work on time, space and communication. So there's these 2 points here. So at the end treatment, we're just going to open your tunnels and open the crown. So you're going to have something called access bars, and access bars is a really incredible treatment. It comes under the umbrella of access consciousness, and it is a treatment that working on your head. So there's 32 points on your head, and when they're lightly touched, they release all the things you're looping about. So the 32 points represent different areas of your life. So for example, money, body, creativity. So anything that is limiting you in those areas of your life, what happens when you have this session is that it releases all the stuff that you are limiting yourself with. And you will get lots of awareness, lots of clarity. What else will you get? You'll get a sense of peace and calm and relaxation. So what happens is that your brain starts relaxing and really letting go of all that non-stop talking that we do. Yeah? Cool. Okay. So take a nice slow deep breath for me. And let go. And one more. And let go. Just really allowing your body to totally arrive here. Letting go of the day, letting go of anything you have to do, just put it aside and just arriving in this space, just for now. And one more breath, and let go. So anyway, you're holding on, any part of your body that you're holding on. Sometimes it helps doing a little body scan, starting from the feet and just relaxing the feet. And relaxing the ankles, calves, the knees, the upper legs, the hips, the stomach, the chest, and relaxing the face, the shoulders, and relaxing all of it. And just finding your breath. So if there's anything you could get out of this session today, what would it be?
I think I have quite a lot of mind chatter, especially before I sleep in the evenings. So just being able to
let that go.
Yeah, let that go.
Cool. Okay. Amazing. So I'm going to start off just opening your energy flows. So just lift your head up for me. There you go. So what I'm doing here is just opening your energy center so that you can receive the session. And you don't have to think about anything, you don't have to do anything, you just allow yourself to receive. Access bars is so much about allowing ourselves to receive. Very often we want things and, we push for things. But actually, if we just allowed ourselves to receive it without having to push it and force it. There you go. Now take your hands, and if you just put your middle finger in my palm, so I'm just opening your energy flows again. So this treatment's really, really good for anxiety, for depression, for any neurodiverse conditions like autism or ADHD or ADD, anything like that. So what I'm doing here is just going behind the earlobe, and there's like a little valley, and I'm just putting my fingers there and I'm lightly touching the points there. And this point is called the implant band. And the implant band is where we hold all our considerations and our points of view about everything. So our points of view create our reality. So if we have a point of view that our life is, life is hard, or we have to work hard for our money, that is what's going to show up in our world. And this point is really, really good to hold, to really release those points of views.
I think actually, compared to Reiki where it's whole body, I find the head and the face a lot easier to feel, like pick up on precise sensations.
And this point can actually be done for yourself, even though you need to get your bars run by somebody else. So you can literally get your fingers and literally kind of put your fingers behind the earlobe like that and hold your ears like that. So that's a really nice thing to do. So you can even put your elbows on the desk while you do that. So they're called bars because they run across the head. So you've got bars across the head. And so this was channeled by the founder called Gary Douglas, and he channeled this modality. So basically, when you get your bars run, as we call it, is we have less mind chatter, less monkey mind, and we're like decluttering our mind. So this treatment is really, really good for that. But the more you have the treatment done, the more you get a real awareness about where you're functioning from. Because most of our limiting points of view are in our subconscious. So we don't know what they are, but we know when things are not working out for us. So this treatment really brings you into this place of being present with yourself. So you start getting an awareness, this is why this is happening. Okay, so now I can make a different choice. Because when we don't have awareness, it's like walking in a dark room. So we don't really know what we're doing and where we're sort of finding our way through. But having access bars really helps to release that. It's also really, really good for any PTSD we've got in those areas of our life. So it helps with any sort of things that you keep on replaying. Those events, those conversations that we have with ourselves. That we keep telling ourselves the same story or the same narrative. I think one of the things that's greatest benefits of this is that it really allows you to receive. So one of the things you can do is just really putting your barriers down. So when I mean barriers, I mean sort of anything that you feel you're holding on to. And this is all energetic, it's nothing sort of cognitive. So our thoughts are energy. And the good thing about that is you can change that. So we can change the energy, we can change by just being in a different space. And just holding the scalp, there's something really quite amazing about that. I think it sort of takes us back to our infancy when we're held. Somebody cupping your head is just something really, really nurturing about it. And some people can talk in the session, so what can quite happen is when I start moving around on different points, certain points people start talking about their money issues, or they talk about their body issues, or they start talking about the lack of creativity in their world. So it really depends. So it can be such a powerful thing. But I think the great thing about this treatment is the fact that you don't have to talk about your story. So you don't have to talk about, oh, well, this happened to me in my childhood, or that happened to me in my childhood. It's all about the energy of something. But to receive a bar session, you do need to have a hands-on treatment. You can't have a treatment, somebody can't run your bars from a distance. At this point, definitely you can do one yourself. And then each point is held for 5 to 10 minutes. Not really related to reflexology. I would say it's more like cranial sacral work. I mean, obviously it's very different to Indian head massage because it works on a much more deeper level. I mean, there's loads of research that's also been done. You know, scientists have found what it's like to have bars, what the brain looks like before a bar session and what after it looks like after a bar session. And you can feel the energy sort of pulsating on the points. And the other thing is when we truly relax and we really let go, that's when we really let go of the control, and that's when we also access our true knowing, because we have all the answers inside of us, but we're too busy to really tap into that. So this treatment is really, really good for that, like really tapping into your knowing, your awareness. Now I'm just going to move on to money, control and creativity. So there's 3 points there. So all your points of view about money, having it, not having it, how hard you have to work for it, the control, how much control you have and not have, what that feels like, and creativity. Creativity is obviously what your points of view about creating is. It's very, very gentle. This one's a little bit tricky to do on yourself, but you can do it if you try. And our points of view really come from, from our families, from school, from our culture, and we then adopt, we take them on thinking they're our point of view, but actually, exactly whose point of view are they, and what is your reality with money, control and creativity. And a really good question to ask, which also Access Consciousness has a whole heap of verbal processing and tools, and a lot of it is asking questions to get awareness. So a question I like to ask quite a lot is, what's my reality with this? So for example, what's my reality with money? What's my reality with creativity? What's my reality with control? And we're taught that if we do control, that's how, things happen and manifest. But actually, it's when we let go of the control. And that's not to say you're not in control, but really when we let go of the control is when the magic happens. That's when you're tapping into the quantum field and you're just kind of putting it out there with a request. But the mind always wants something to do, so we think, oh, we have to do this or we have to do that. And it is, you do need to do things. So it's not about, oh, well, I want a job and not do anything about looking for a job. It's more about, okay, so I want this job and how, and really following the energy of what's required. And what I find when I ask the questions is, what's my reality with this? And I just leave it. I might read something, or I might get a phone call, or I might see something that kind of then takes me to another awareness. It's like, okay, so what else is required here? And so then that's how you kind of follow the energy of it. I often ask the question, what's my reality when I'm travelling home and it's really, really busy? So it's like, okay, so what's my reality with this? Rather than feeling like, oh my God, it's going to be really difficult and it's going to be really busy and it's going to be crowded. It's like, okay, so what's my reality? And when I do it and I just walk in, it's like somehow people move out the way. I manage to find a carriage that is not that crowded, or all sorts of things happen. And now I'm going to move on to creativity, creating connections and creating life forms. So creating connections is about all our points of view about creating connections, how we create connections with other people, with ourselves, with our environment. We're still working on the creativity. So creativity, creating connections and creating life forms. It's a lot to do with like relationship stuff that we have with ourselves and others. What I really love about this modality is that it's really super empowering. It's not about me telling you, oh, well, this is, you need to fix this or you need to fix that. It's not about that. It's really about you tapping into your awareness. And then the other thing is really, we are so super psychic and super aware. So we can, because energy is our first language. And as we're energetic beings, we're tapping into so many people's realities. So this is why the question, what's my reality with this, is really a helpful question. So I've worked with so many different modalities, and this modality, I can truly say, has created the biggest change for me in terms of my awareness, my ability to sort of tap into my knowing and really acknowledge what it is that I know about whatever challenge it is that's, I'm dealing with. It's still an energetic modality, so it's working with the energy of your points of view. Because we often make our points of view so solid and real that we think, oh, it's a point of view that can't be changed, but actually it's just the energy of the point of view that needs to be changed. Now I'm going to move on to something called the aging toaster, which is these two fingers, and it goes working on your head, so you can kind of use it for your head there. And this works on all your points of view about aging. What it is to be getting older, or points of view, or what aging points of view are holding you back. Do you think you're too old for something, or you're too young, you can't do that? Whatever points of view you have about aging, or what will it be like getting older? What are our fears about getting older? Our body's not going to work, we're not going to have enough energy. I mean, they're just points of view. They're not real and true. But because we're so conditioned that this is going to happen at this age and this is going to happen at that age, we buy into that point of view. So what's your reality with aging? And you can ask that question, what's my reality with this? What's my reality with aging? Something really nice about being touched on the crown there. Very soothing. And as the treatment goes on, you'll notice that your breathing's getting slower. Your body's getting more softer, more receptive. And now we're just going to move on to awareness and control, hopes and dreams, form and structure, and bridging bar. Awareness and control. It's all about where we're not being present with our lives. So we shut off our awareness. So just taking a moment to think about, not even think, to be in the energy of how much you're actually really aware of and how much are you rejecting your awareness. Because it feels too powerful, too scary to claim your awareness. How much were you told as a child, that's not, don't listen to your awareness. Your awareness can also be your instincts, your gut instincts, or a knowing. Obviously the control is about how much we want to control, how much we feel we're not in control, all our points of view about control. How much do we think society controls us? There are higher powers that control our lives. How much do we create that and make that our reality? Form and structure is all about how we do things, how we create sort of structure in our world. And we're not always fluid with it. How much do we all have a little bit of OCD where we want to, want things a certain way? So it's really letting go of some of that. And then the bridging bar bridges all the bars that we're working on. This treatment really creates also lots of space for you, because most of the time, if you're aware, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, that we function from a contracted place. So we're constantly making ourselves small. We're constantly functioning from this place where we almost twist ourselves. And this treatment really gives you that space. So rather than figuring it all out, it's kind of just having the awareness of what's next, and then following that knowing of what's next. So slightly going back with the creativity, money control and creativity, what sort of points of view do we have about creating? So how long it takes us to create things, these are just points of view. So for example, often we think, oh, it'll take me this long to create this. But what if that was just a point of view that you have? So again, going back to the question, what's my reality here? And all your points of view about hopes and dreams, what your hopes and dreams were. So form and structure and hopes and dreams. Often we feel, oh, we have to give up on our dreams because they're only for when we're little. So all those points of view that we have about our dreams and our hopes that we've let go of. Now we're going to work on healing, sadness and joy, and body and sexuality. So healing is just in the temple, so that's a really nice one you can actually do for yourself, just even putting one finger there and just holding that temple point, or you can even do it this and then you can do sadness and joy. So all your points about healing, is it possible to heal, is it not possible to heal? Or there's something wrong with me, I have to be healed before I can be my best self. That's a point of view that's obviously, can limit us. All your points of view about sadness, about joy, how much we can receive joy. Often we think we can't receive joy because other people are sad, so we don't want to show too much joy in our world. Sadness, or I have to be sad because that's the thing to do. If this happens, then I have to be sad. And then body and sexuality, so really what's, all our points of view about body. And we have so many judgments about our bodies. And we have so many judgments about our life and what's showing up for us. And we're constantly in judgment of our life. So one thing that's really, I've learned a lot through Access is when we judge ourselves, we're not in gratitude. So the two can't really exist together. So whenever I'm going into a judgment about myself, I know that I'm not in gratitude. So a really nice question to ask is when we're going into judgment about self, what's right about this I'm not getting, or what's right about me I'm not getting. And just see what comes up in your awareness. Because we're always thinking that there's something wrong, we're doing things wrong, this is wrong, this is right. And that's this reality. We're constantly in polarity of this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong and I'm right. But what Access does is really, what the bars do is really get you out of that polarity. What if there was no right and wrong? What if there was just this energy, space and consciousness, which is what we are. We are energy, space and consciousness. And when we function from that space of energy, space and consciousness, so many possibilities can show up for us. Whereas when we function from this is right, this is wrong, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, we start really limiting ourselves. And again, you'll get awareness is about areas that you want to heal more from. Awareness is about why certain things make you sad. Awareness is about joy. the times you've rejected joy, or how much you control, how much joy you receive, about your body, about your sexuality. Now we're going to work on something called peace, calm and gratitude, which are these 3 fingers here. And this you can actually do for yourself. You can actually put your fingers just behind here and hold that point. So this is all about your points of view about peace, calm and gratitude. You know, so your points of view about, is it possible to have peace? Is it possible to have calm? All your points of view about gratitude. This is a very, very nice point. I often do this on myself. Access has a really lovely mantra called all of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. So I'm going to say it again. All of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. And what you're really doing there is you're inviting the energy of ease. You know, how often do you even think you can have ease with life? How often do we even desire ease? So all of life comes to me with ease. What that actually means is that you're inviting ease into your world, because everything is energy. And all of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. So it's not sort of cherry picking what you want from life, but you're sort of asking for the ease, joy and glory. And that is such a nice simple mantra. And I say that all the time, particularly when I'm really struggling with things in my world. You know, all of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. And you just repeat that. And it gets you out of that mindset where you are being, I wouldn't say the word negative, but where you are keeping yourself stuck, or where you've got a point of view that you're, you know, this is going to be difficult, this is going to be hard. When we have those point of view and then we go into a situation with that point of view. And now we're going to work on time, space and communication. So it's these 2 points here. And this is all our points of view about time, because time's actually not linear. How much time it takes for us to do things, how much time we need, all sorts of things like that about time, because we're constantly clock watching. You know, it's time for breakfast, or time for lunch, or time to wake up, or time to do this. So we're constantly limiting ourselves with our points of view about time. Obviously communication and how we communicate with each other, with ourselves mainly, and how we communicate with others. Because often we think, oh, we just communicate in our words, but actually we communicate in our energetic body a lot. So our behaviours. So what the whole thing about, you know, actions speak louder than words, really always look at the behaviour more than the words. You know, for example, how often have you walked in a room and you pick up an energy in that room? Or somebody is saying something, but the energy behind that is not congruent. Or how many times have you said, oh, I'm okay, but the energy behind that is actually, I'm not okay. You know, all of points of view about kind of time, as in, you know, time's running out, or aging, or I'm too old, I haven't got enough time for this, or, you know, we're so constantly, if you really start getting present with our thoughts and your points of view, it's like how much, you know, are we constantly limiting ourselves with it? And we tell ourselves all sorts of stories about, oh, why we can't do this, or why we can't do that, or it's going to take us this long to do this, or it can't be done this like this because this is how you have to do it. Now I'm going to move on to the restructuring, which is these 3 fingers here where I was holding on earlier on, so they're really accessing the power in you. Time and space, And then restructuring of the bodies, which is these two here. Now this is sealing that session. So everything that we've worked on, everything you've let go of, Melissa, in this session, this is sealing it so you don't go back to those points of view, don't go back to those behaviours. And now I'm just going to work on the crown, working on your point of manifestation and how quickly you think you can manifest, or what are your points of view about manifesting. So it's called Circle of Manifestation, which is just this point here on the crown. So at the end treatment, we're just going to open your tunnels and open the crown. And the good thing about this is also when you have a bar session, when you give a session, you also have, like my bars were also running, so whatever points of view that are similar to Melissa would have also worked on me. So take a nice slow deep breath in for me, Melissa, and let go. And one more. And let go. And one more. And just let go.